for political parties to conduct their primaries for the 2023 general election. The development came on a date the People's Democratic Party was neck-deep in the final preparations for its national convention, which held today in Abuja to elect its presidential candidates. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said the commission took the decision to extend the deadline for the conduct of primaries after a meeting in Abuja with the 18 registered political parties under the aegis of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. Okoye, in a statement, said the extension was to give parties time to compile the list and personal particulars of their nominated candidates for uploading the same to the INEC portal. He advised parties to ensure that their primaries would be free of rancor to meet the timelines for the remaining activities embodied in the timetable and schedule of activities for the general election. Meanwhile, no fewer than 811 People's Democratic Party delegates are undergoing accreditation at the National Convention ground at MKO Abiola International Stadium, Abuja. The exercise will enable the party's national delegates who are drawn from the 774 local government areas of the country to decide the presidential flag bearer at the venue. Delegates are being accredited with their means of identification, which include driver license, INEC permanent voter cards, national identity cards. As at the time of filing this report, Delta, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Kogi, Benue, Niger, Abia, Anambra had finished their accreditation, while delegates from other states are undergoing accreditations. Chairman of the People's Democratic Party Special Convention, Senator David Mark, and governors of Bayelsa, Adoye Diri, is Delta State counterpart, Ifeanyi Okowa, with other members of the convention committee visited various accreditation points to inspect the process. The primary election of the All Progressives Congress in Osun West Senatorial District to elect candidates for Senate in 2023 general election was observed to be peaceful. Stalwarts of the APC who spoke to OSBC News on the conduct of the poll adjudged the exercise to be free, fair, and credible. Our reporter Sunday Adedun asked more on the report.
Primaries of the ruling All Progressives Congress in the state of Osun ahead of the 2023 general election to pick its standard bearer for the State House of Assembly and that of the National Assembly was rounded off today with the election of its standard bearer for the Senate in Iwo Federal Constituency. Report from the Iwo Federal Constituency indicated that the election was free, fair, credible, and rancor-free in all the wards visited. A visit to Olukmana in Ayedre local government area of the federal constituency indicated that the party members on out en masse to elect their representatives from Gidigbo Ward 11 at Baptist Primary School, Gidigbo Ward 13 at Alaye and Okeaden Ward 2 at Pankoku, en route Olukmana in Ayedre local government area, Ward 1, 2, and 3 respectively. In all the areas visited, accreditation and voting were conducted simultaneously in a peaceful manner, with all the party members throwing banters at one another. While speaking, a former member of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Leke Ogunshola, a woman leader, Mrs. Aziz Adenike, and Honorable Liad Aziz, as well as other party faithfuls, attested to the fact that the primary election was free, fair, and rancor-free.
The Electoral Act, that means that it has connotation of popularity among your kinsmen. And if it is not your people that actually put you there.
The election was a successful one. It was clear enough.
They thereafter enjoined aspirants to embrace the spirit of sportsmanship by accepting the outcome of the election in good faith and work together for the success of the party during the forthcoming Guba election in the state and other subsequent elections. It has been Sunday Adedin reporting.
It is high time Nigeria embraced a candid template of governance with which any government, irrespective of party affiliation, can operate for progressive continuity in the polity of governance as it is being practiced by developed nations. As social affairs analyst Comrade Fatai Tijani dropped the hint after featuring on OSBC TV Current Affairs Saturday morning treat. Comrade Tijani said money influence in politics is anywhere worldwide but can be managed by the electorate. It speaks further.
Are given the right of places. Money politics is pushed to the background, which though may be very difficult because even in American politics, they spend money. And so it is it's a worldwide phenomenon. And I think it could be minimized. Just Nigerians, it has become so high in Nigeria that you hardly would want to see anyone who would be given an opportunity of offices without having enough. And that is what is really killing Nigerian politics. And I think that until such a time individuals are sponsored by people due to that individual's character and his capacities, until such a time we'll still continue dwelling on my father did it before, I will do it, I can do it. Even whether the person has what it takes or not, we want to push him into office, we will still continue where we are, where we find ourselves today.
Local government autonomy, though, has seen the green light at the Supreme Court, but may not be implementable at a short time, especially in the atmosphere where the same party dominates the scene and some local government political officials that do not emerge through constitutional means. A legal expert, Mr. Kayode Adebisi, said this after partaking on OSBC Current Affairs program Saturday morning trade. He speaks further.
The Supreme Court has just delivered the judgments that National Financial Intelligence Unit guidelines and federal governments, they are in the right directions by giving autonomy to the local government, as stipulated in the Constitution that a democratically elected government, local government should be established. But as to implementation, it is the duty of the local government chairmen that are involved, that are the beneficiary, to liaise with the government of the day on how to implement the judgment, particularly through the State House of Assembly. If there is any law to be put in place, because initially now, currently they have a joint account law in each of the federations. So that law has to be amended in line with that judgment. And thereafter, any allocation to be released to the local government will be in that, what they call it local government trust accounts, not joint account again.
And workers in the state of Osun have been admonished to sustain the temple of mutual relationship with the state government, as well as ensuring sustenance of good governance being demonstrated by Governor Adigboyega Oyetola. The State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Adebayo Yekini, gave the charge in Iloko-Ijesha at a 2-day seminar organized by the state chapter of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees. Sonia Honoride asked more of the story.
Speaking at the seminar held at Iloko-Ijesha, the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Adebayo Yekini, described the topic, local government workers, politicians, and the dividends of democracy as apt and relevant in the relationship between the actors that resonates with the level of developments in the state. Prince Adebayo noted that Governor Adigboyega Oyetola is acutely aware of the significant role played by government workers in nation building and has reciprocated by focusing on overall welfare of workers across the state, adding that it is imperative to ensure that the re-election of Governor Adigboyega Oyetola, who has done so much for workers in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
If they can organize this kind of seminar, they have done series of this in the past. They have endorsed Mr. Governor. So what message are we talking about? That they should keep the temple going, and they should make sure that the man they call their own country, the man they believe is part of them, the more that they all say is doing well in the sector, should be returned for a second time.
President of Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Comrade Kehinde Ogungbangbe, noted that the seminar has been carefully designed towards encouraging social interaction among local government workers, develop better understanding and synergy between the local government workers and politicians. Dr. Ogungbangbe therefore enjoined the participants to make judicious use of the opportunity, as well as ensuring the sustenance of good governance, as demonstrated by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
I only tell them not to allow anybody to mislead them. These are local government workers. And the present government, this present Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, has done tremendously well for us in the local government. Mr. Governor has done well for us. So there is no reason for any local government worker to now say, I want to go and vote for another person. If we want the good work to continue, this present government must have another 4 years.
The guest lecturer, Senator Ajibola Bashir, who spoke eloquently on the Oyetola's year, harped on the need for synergy between the state governments and the public service workers for a robust and functioning public sector, has been demonstrated by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola.
Look at this very important workshop organized by Norgate, and I speak to the fact that there are areas by which our Governor Oyetola stand tall above every other candidate. Speaks to that the fact that we need to continue development of our people through electing Governor Oyetola and our party, the APC, and the July 16 governorship election.
Dignitaries at the two-day seminar, including Honorable Taofeek Abolubode, Mr. Muftau Akao, Comrade Kehinde Ayantunji, as well as the state chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Jacob Adekome, as well as Comrade Kehinde Onitiju, Saya Onorinde, reporting for OSBC News.
Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola has reassured his administration's commitment at ensuring the healthy living of the people in the state. The governor said this at the Nigerian Medical Students Association Osun Health Summit 2022. Our reporter Oluwatobiloba Odunoga has the details.
Speaking at the Osun Health Summit 2022, organized by the Nigerian Medical Students Association, NIMSA, in collaboration with Osun Committee on Health, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola maintained that the government needs the collaborative effort of the people in the state so as to improve the level of healthcare delivery. The governor, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Rafi Usamatu, said the administration of Governor Oyetola has put in place different measures as regards the qualitative healthcare delivery in the nooks and crannies of the state. He, however, maintained his administration's prioritizes primary health delivery, which is believed to be accessible to all and sundry in the state.
We as a government, we need to do our bit to ensure that we improve on health of our people, just as we had demonstrated in the state of Osun.
Also speaking, Executive Secretary Osun Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Adeniyi Ogini, there is need for the repositioning of the health sector in the country, saying that the Osun Health Summit is timely so as to address issues on the status of the public health sector, public health facilities, and the quality of their services. Dr. Ogini, however, lamented on how Nigerian doctors and nurses flee abroad because of low encouragement, urging government at all levels and where many individuals, including the stakeholders, to find solutions to the lacunae.
It is to address the issue of the status of public health sector, the public health facilities, and their governance, and the operations and then the quality of service that we get from there.
Earlier in his address, Nigerian Medical Students Association NIMSA National Director Temitayo Matthew maintained that the 2022 Osun Health Summit is targeted at providing solutions to numerous challenges plaguing the health sector in the state by putting actionable steps forward for both government and non-governmental institutions. The NIMSA National Director stated further that Osun Air Summit 2022 will culminate in final communique, which will provide ideas of policies, plans, projects, and initiatives for the government to embark on at all levels to fast-track growth, development, and betterment of air sector in the state.
Residents of Osun State, particularly the youth, have been admonished to always live a peaceful life and imbibe the Omoluabi ethos in all their engagements. The Olufi of Bogonland, Oba Adetoye Shoyeni, gave the admonition at a press briefing consequent upon the attack on some journalists after the campaign of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in Bogon town. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga again reports.
The Olufi of Bongon, Oba Adetoye Shoyeni, has condemned the attack on some journalists who covered the re-election campaign of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola a few days ago in the town. The monarch who distanced the palace and the entire town from the attack, enjoined all well-meaning individuals of the land, including all political party leaders, to always live in unity and harmony so as to portray the peaceful coexistence the town is known for. The Olufi of Bongon noted that the elders and Association of Bongon Progressive Union have come together so as to fine-tune ways to tackle the issue.
It is crystal clear that the issue on hand is between two generalissimus, and that does not have anything to do with either the palace or my chiefs or Bongon people. No.
In their separate submission, representatives from different political parties in Bongoland, including the All Progressive Congress, APC, People's Democratic Party, PDP, Accord Party, Young People's Party, YPP, among others, distanced themselves from the attack. They are however enjoined the elders and other stakeholders of the town to see to the root of the matter and bring the culprit to book. In their separate remarks, Balogun of Bogonland, Chief Kozim Onikepe, including the OSA Chief Adisa, Balogun, and the Yalode Chief Oni, enjoined parents to always ensure the proper moral upkeep of their wards, adding that ill-trained children will always become nuisance in the society. Speaking on the outcome of their investigation, Police DCO, Bongon Division, Adewale James, including the Civil Defense Chief, Superintendent of Corps, Francis Fadare, maintained that 11 people have been arraigned, with 6 others, adding that they are still on the lookout for other suspects. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reporting for OSBC News.
The chairman of Ifedayo local government, who doubles as the Argon chairman, Honorable Idowu Abiodun, has charged sons and daughters of Okela-Orogun to embrace their culture as well as cooperate with the monarch Oba Adedokun Abolarin to move them forward. Honorable Abiodun gave this charge at the National Conference of History, Culture and Society of Okela-Orogun, held in Okela-Orogun. Omotayo Adebodun has more.
Which was held at the Okela Community Hall, brought together illustrious sons and daughters of the soil for the purpose of learning about the history of the ancient town of Okela-Orogun. In his remarks, the chairman of Ifedayo local government, who doubles as the Algon chairman in Osun, Honorable Idowu Abiodun, appreciated the efforts of the planning committee as well as called on all indigents of the town to cooperate with the monarch to bring about better development in the town.
What we are doing today is an epoch-making event that is going to go down in history as a good omen for the community. It is an attempt to re-establish our history and our origin in such a way that the generation yet unborn and the younger generation will be able to ascertain their origin and their ancestors.
While giving his goodwill message, the Orogun of Okela-Orogun, Oba Adedokun Abolarin, appreciated the cooperation of the entire indigene of Okela-Orogun. He further called for more paperwork from the academic professors present so as to put the history of Okela-Orogun in a book that generations after now can lay their hands on it. Speaking with OSBC News, the chairman planning committee, Professor Ayodeji Aino, said the reason for the conference was that the world has gone digital and generations after them might not know where or how the ancient town started.
It seems as if as a people, talking about Nigeria as a nation now, we are losing sense of history. And Okela is not an exception. It now occurs to us that we need to go in direction by holding a national conference where we invite both world scholars and local scholars to join with us to discuss, to put in proper perspective the history, culture, and the people of Okela.
Some of the indigents who spoke with OSBC News had this to say.
And that's the essence of this program that we're having today. Like this of Okela, we want to build on what you have had before, we want to update our history, know our culture, the kind of food we eat, the kind of life we live, the kind of work we do.
This event will make it possible for us to know our past elders, our past obas, and what has really happened to our community in the past years.
It's wonderful, very wonderful. First of its kind. I'm happy I'm here. It's worth it.
The historical conference had in attendance top government officials, royal fathers, high chiefs, academic professors from Okela Orangun and outside, and indigents of Okela Orangun, among others. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
You're welcome to our sports segment. Liverpool will look to win. We like to win European club football's most prestigious prize for the 7th time when they face Real Madrid in a month World Train Champions League final in Paris tonight. Omotayo Adebodun has the details.
Liverpool and Real Madrid meet in the Champions League final for the 2nd time in 5 years in Paris tonight, with Georgian club side aiming to end the season with a trophy treble, while the Spanish giants will look to Karim Benzema to inspire them to a 14th European Cup victory. A crowd of